Thing we need to talk about here, it's who owned the A8 before you. Unfortunately, a lot of A8 owners leased the vehicles originally and they didn't adhere to the scheduled servicing. Remember, the depreciation on used examples, it's not going to stop.
Car ownership is full of surprises, but nothing shocks buyers more than watching their expensive purchase lose nearly all its value in just a few short years. For some cars, it's not just a little dip, it's a financial cliff. Luxury sedans, electric pioneers, and forgotten flagships that once commanded respect are now worth a fraction of what they cost new. High-tech features that once wowed buyers have aged poorly. Reliability issues have scared away second-hand shoppers, and market shifts toward SUVs have left many beautiful sedans collecting dust at used car lots. In this video, we're counting down 14 cars that lost up to 90% of their value in just 3 years. From once glorious German machines to futuristic EVs that didn't stand the test of time, these cars prove one thing: style and status don't always equal long-term worth. Number 14. BMW 7 Series. The BMW 7 Series was once the ultimate status symbol. A car that shouted success, luxury, and power. But in the used car market, that same prestige has turned into a curse. Within just 3 years, the 7 Series can lose as much as 70 to 90% of its original value, depending on the trim and model year. Why? It's a perfect storm of complexity, cost, and competition. Luxury buyers who can afford a new 7 Series rarely want a used one. The moment warranties expire, ownership becomes a nightmare. Air suspension systems, turbocharged V8s, and tech-loaded dashboards are expensive to repair. Even simple electronic faults can cost thousands to fix. Meanwhile, the market is flooded with off-lease models that drive prices down even further. Add to that the rapid advancement of BMW's in-car technology. New models come with massive curved screens, advanced self-driving features, and hybrid options, making the older 7 Series feel instantly outdated. Then there's the perception issue. The 7 Series doesn't hold up in the long run like a Lexus LS or even a Mercedes S-Class. BMW's luxury sedan was engineered for driving pleasure, not reliability longevity. It's a masterpiece to drive, but a burden to maintain. And buyers know it. That's why you'll see once $100,000 BMWs sitting in used car lots for barely $15,000, waiting for someone brave enough to take on the repair bills. For enthusiasts who want luxury and performance on a budget, it's a tempting deal. But for most, the 7 Series is the perfect example of how fast high-end cars can lose their value once reality and maintenance costs set in. Number 13. Maserati Ghibli. The Maserati Ghibli promised Italian performance wrapped in pure elegance. With its sharp design, Ferrari-derived engines, and that iconic Trident badge, it had all the ingredients of a dream car. But in just a few years, that dream turned into a depreciation nightmare. The Ghibli is one of those rare cars that can lose up to 90% of its original value within 3 years. A brutal fall for a car that starts at luxury prices. The reason? Reputation and reliability. Maserati's charm is undeniable, but owning one often means endless visits to the service center. Expensive parts, scarce dealerships, and unpredictable electronics have scared off used buyers. Most Ghiblis end up as second- or third-hand cars for a fraction of their original sticker price, yet they still cost a fortune to maintain. Another major issue is the lack of distinction in the lineup. Many buyers realize that beneath the badge, the Ghibli shared components with cheaper Fiat Chrysler models, including infotainment systems that didn't feel truly exotic. Once that became public knowledge, resale confidence collapsed. Then there's the brand factor. Maserati's image as a high-end performance brand never fully matched up with its reliability record. Unlike Porsche or even BMW, Maserati's name doesn't guarantee lasting value, and the used market reflects that. Today, you can find a 3-year-old Ghibli, once worth over $80,000, listed for under $20,000. It still turns heads and sounds glorious, but that depreciation curve is as steep as its power band. It's proof that passion can't always protect against poor resale value. Number 12. Jaguar XF. The Jaguar XF was once hailed as the car that would bring the British brand roaring back to life. Sleek, sporty, and unmistakably elegant, it had the look and feel of a true competitor to the BMW 5 Series and Mercedes E-Class. But while it delivered a luxurious experience on day one, the XF turned into one of the fastest depreciating executive sedans on the market. Within 3 years, an XF can lose between 80 and 90% of its original value. A staggering fall for a car once priced near $60,000. The reasons run deep. Reliability issues have haunted Jaguar for decades, and while the XF tried to fix that image, it couldn't fully escape the past. Electrical gremlins, sensor failures, and high repair costs quickly made buyers hesitant to own one outside of warranty. Then came the SUV revolution. Jaguar's own F-Pace, along with competitors like the BMW X5 and Audi Q7, stole the spotlight from luxury sedans. Demand for the XF fell sharply, leaving dealers slashing prices to move inventory. The car's interior, though stylish, also struggled to keep up with the rapid pace of tech innovation. Buyers expecting the latest infotainment and driver assist features found the XF lagging behind its German rivals. Another major blow was depreciation from fleet sales. Many XFs were sold to rental companies and corporate fleets, meaning used markets were flooded with identical models after a few years, driving prices down even further. For those who pick one up used, the XF can still feel special, a proper luxury car with charm and character. But its resale story is a harsh lesson. Prestige alone isn't enough when buyers worry about reliability, outdated tech, and future repair bills. Number 11. Infiniti Q70. The Infiniti Q70 had all the right intentions. A luxurious, powerful sedan built to challenge German dominance. It came with smooth V6 and V8 options, a refined ride, and classic styling that aged gracefully. But despite its solid engineering, the Q70 quickly turned into one of the worst performers in terms of resale value. Within just 3 years, some models have lost close to 85 to 90% of their worth, landing it firmly on depreciation lists. One major reason was timing. Infiniti launched the Q70 just as the world began moving toward SUVs. While luxury buyers shifted to crossovers like the QX60 or BMW X5, full-size sedans like the Q70 were left behind. Dealerships struggled to move inventory, and the brand's decision to discontinue the model in 2019 sealed its fate in the used market. Once a car is discontinued, parts availability and service attention decline, and resale values follow. Another problem was branding. Infiniti never quite earned the same premium image as Lexus or BMW. It sat awkwardly between luxury and mainstream, making resale confidence weaker. Buyers spending $60,000 wanted a name with status, and the Q70 just couldn't compete with its more recognizable German rivals. Performance-wise, it was no slouch. The 5.6-liter V8 produced plenty of power. But the market didn't care. Lack of marketing, dated tech, and an interior that felt unchanged for years gave the impression of stagnation. When newer models from Mercedes and BMW rolled out with massive screens and semi-autonomous driving, the Q70 looked like a car from another era. Today, you can find a used Infiniti Q70 for under $10,000, less than what some compact sedans cost new. It's a comfortable, capable cruiser that was simply forgotten by time. For used buyers, it's a hidden luxury bargain. But for its original owners, the depreciation hit was brutal. Number 10. Mercedes-Benz S-Class. The Mercedes-Benz S-Class has long been the ultimate symbol of wealth, refinement, and cutting-edge technology. For decades, it's been the car that set the standard for what a luxury sedan should be. But, ironically, that same obsession with innovation has become its downfall in resale value. Within just 3 years, an S-Class can lose between 70% and 90% of its original value. A staggering drop for a car that can easily cost over $120,000 when new. The problem starts with rapid innovation. Mercedes updates the S-Class more aggressively than almost any other car maker. Each new generation introduces futuristic features that instantly make older models feel ancient. A 2018 S-Class, with its once luxurious interior, now looks dated compared to the new generation's giant OLED screens, augmented reality navigation, and hybrid drivetrain options. Buyers with the budget to buy new prefer the latest tech, leaving used models to plummet in price. Then there's the cost of upkeep. Even a simple repair, like replacing air suspension components, advanced lighting systems, or aging infotainment modules, can cost thousands. As soon as the factory warranty expires, potential buyers step back. Many S-Class models also rely on complex electronics that tend to age poorly, and the cost of diagnosing those issues can be higher than the car's resale value. Another factor is supply. Many S-Class models enter the market through corporate fleets or leases, meaning there's a flood of lightly used examples competing for attention every few years. That saturation drives prices down even faster. Still, the driving experience remains unmatched. The S-Class is whisper quiet, incredibly smooth, and engineered to perfection. For buyers shopping used, it's an extraordinary deal. You can own what was once the best car in the world for the price of a new Toyota Camry. But that's small comfort for those who watched their six-figure luxury sedan turn into a bargain bin listing in less than 3 years. Number 9. Cadillac CT6. When Cadillac introduced the CT6, it was supposed to mark the brand's big return to true luxury. The car had everything going for it: a bold design, advanced aluminum construction, and tech features like the impressive Super Cruise semi-autonomous driving system. For a brief moment, it looked like Cadillac could stand shoulder to shoulder with Mercedes and BMW again. But that moment didn't last. Within just 3 years, many CT6 models have lost nearly 85 to 90% of their original value. The biggest reason was confusion. Cadillac launched the CT6 as a flagship sedan, but never committed fully to it. Marketing was inconsistent, and the company's decision to discontinue the model in 2020 left buyers uncertain about its future. When a brand stops making a car, resale confidence collapses. Parts, dealer support, and even software updates become question marks, and depreciation follows fast. Then there's brand perception. In the luxury market, image is everything. And Cadillac's badge doesn't carry the same prestige it once did. Many American luxury buyers have shifted toward German brands, leaving even well-built Cadillacs sitting on dealer lots. The CT6 was an excellent car by every measurable standard. But in the resale market, reputation matters more than performance. Even the tech that once made it special ended up working against it. Rapidly advancing driver assist systems and infotainment updates from rivals made the CT6 feel outdated just a few years after launch. Combined with limited demand for full-size sedans in an SUV-obsessed market, depreciation hit hard and fast. Today, a top-trim platinum model that once cost over $85,000 can be found for under $15,000. It's still powerful, comfortable, and loaded with features, but the market has spoken. The CT6 is a textbook example of how even great cars can fail when timing, marketing, and brand image don't align. Number 8. Audi A8. The Audi A8 is one of those cars that quietly competes with the world's best. Refined, powerful, and beautifully crafted. It's Audi's technological showcase, filled with luxury materials, quattro all-wheel drive, and the kind of engineering precision that makes long drives feel effortless. Yet, despite all that, the A8 has one of the worst resale values in the luxury segment. Within 3 years, it can lose up to 85% of its original value. A brutal reality for owners of a car that once cost around $100,000. The main reason is perception. While BMW and Mercedes dominate luxury status in America, the A8 never achieved the same prestige. Many luxury buyers see Audi as a step below when it comes to executive cars. That reputation hurts resale because used buyers looking for flagship sedans tend to prefer the more recognizable S-Class or 7 Series badge. Then there's the technology problem. The A8 is loaded with complicated systems, active suspensions, adaptive lighting, advanced infotainment that are amazing when new but terrifying to maintain out of warranty. Repairs are costly, and independent mechanics rarely have the tools or expertise to service them cheaply. Once the warranty ends, resale value takes a nosedive because few buyers are willing to take the risk. Another big issue is oversupply from leasing. Most A8s are leased rather than purchased outright, meaning after 3 years, dealerships are flooded with returns. That supply surge pushes prices down even further, especially when newer models offer slightly updated tech that makes older ones feel obsolete. Despite its depreciation, the A8 remains a gem for used buyers. You get one of the smoothest rides in the world, a stunning interior, and impeccable build quality for the price of a mid-range SUV. But it's easy to see why it lands on this list. Luxury and performance don't guarantee long-term value when the market demands new tech, new looks, and lower costs every single year. Number 7. Volvo S90. The Volvo S90 is one of the most elegant sedans of the modern era. A car that feels more like a Scandinavian lounge on wheels than a traditional luxury vehicle. With its minimalist interior, advanced safety systems, and smooth ride, it's a brilliant car to own new. But in the used market, it's another story entirely. Within 3 years, the S90 can lose nearly 80 to 90% of its original value, making it one of the steepest depreciating luxury sedans on the road today. Part of the issue comes from changing buyer preferences. Sedans in general have fallen out of favor, and Volvo's lineup is now dominated by SUVs like the XC60 and XC90. Even though the S90 delivers comfort and sophistication, it simply can't compete with the SUV craze that's reshaping the auto industry. That shift in demand has crushed resale values for large sedans across all brands, but it hit Volvo especially hard. Another factor is the brand's identity. Volvo is admired for safety and design, but not necessarily for luxury prestige. In the US market, names like Mercedes, BMW, and Lexus still carry far more resale weight. Buyers who spend $60,000 or more on a car tend to look for status, something the S90 never tried to chase. Its quiet elegance works against it when it's time to resell. Then there's the plug-in hybrid and EV transition. As Volvo pivots to full electrification, older gas-powered models like the S90 are losing relevance faster than expected. Still, for used buyers, the S90 is an absolute bargain. You can get a car that feels as luxurious as a German rival for the price of a new compact. Soft seats, a refined drive, and understated design make it a joy to own. But from a resale standpoint, it's a harsh reminder that great cars can still lose nearly everything when the market moves in another direction. Number 6. Nissan Leaf. The Nissan Leaf made headlines when it first launched. The world's first mass-market electric car. It was affordable, clean, and futuristic, giving drivers a glimpse of an all-electric future. But while it was a pioneer, that early technology quickly became its biggest problem. In just 3 years, many Leafs have lost as much as 85 to 90% of their value, turning one of Nissan's most ambitious projects into one of the fastest depreciating cars of the decade. The biggest issue was battery degradation. Early Leaf models used air-cooled batteries that didn't handle heat well. In warmer climates, range dropped dramatically within just a few years. Buyers soon realized that a used Leaf might deliver barely half its original driving range, often under 50 miles on a single charge. That made resale almost impossible, especially as newer EVs arrived with much better battery management systems. Technology moved faster than Nissan could keep up. As Tesla, Hyundai, and Chevrolet began offering longer-range electric cars with faster charging, the Leaf started to look outdated. Its limited highway capability, slower charging speed, and basic interior made it less appealing compared to modern EVs. Government incentives also played a strange role in its depreciation. When buyers could get tax credits for new EVs, the used car market for the Leaf collapsed further. Because why buy used when a brand new one came with rebates? Still, there's a silver lining. For city driving or short commutes, a used Leaf remains one of the cheapest ways to own an electric car. It's quiet, simple, and easy to maintain. But from a resale perspective, it's a harsh reminder that being first in technology doesn't always mean being best in the long run. Number 5. Tesla Model S Early Models. When the Tesla Model S launched, it was revolutionary. Sleek, blisteringly fast, and packed with technology that felt straight out of science fiction, it changed the way people saw electric cars. For a while, it seemed like nothing could touch it. But as new models arrived and Tesla's technology advanced rapidly, those early Model S versions started to age fast. Today, some early Model S cars have lost nearly 90% of their original value in just 3 to 4 years. The reason lies in Tesla's breakneck innovation cycle. Unlike traditional automakers that update models every few years, Tesla constantly rolls out new hardware and software updates. That means a 3-year-old Model S can feel ancient compared to the latest version with upgraded batteries, longer range, faster charging, and new autopilot hardware. Buyers in the used market know this, and resale prices reflect it brutally. Then there's the issue of battery degradation and repair costs. Replacing or repairing a Tesla battery is an expensive affair, often running into tens of thousands of dollars. Once the warranty expires, many potential buyers back off, afraid of future repair bills. Combine that with the fact that Tesla keeps improving its build quality and interiors, and the earlier cars, which had more basic cabins and inconsistent quality control, lose appeal quickly. Another major factor is the EV market itself. With so many new competitors, from Lucid, Rivian, Hyundai, and even Mercedes, the older Model S has lost its exclusivity. Depreciation accelerated as more long-range EVs with faster charging networks hit the market. Despite that, there's still magic in the Model S. The performance, instant torque, and minimalist design remain iconic. For buyers willing to live with its quirks, an early Model S can be a thrilling bargain. But it's also one of the clearest examples of how quickly technology-driven cars can lose value once the next big thing rolls out. Number 4. Chrysler 300. The Chrysler 300 once ruled American roads as the big, bold sedan that offered muscle car attitude with luxury car comfort. When it first hit the market, it looked like nothing else: wide, aggressive, and commanding. It gave middle-class buyers a taste of executive style for an affordable price. But as the years rolled on, the Chrysler 300 couldn't keep up with the times. Within just 3 years, it can lose up to 80 to 90% of its value, landing it among the worst in depreciation. A major reason is age. The current generation of the 300 has been around for over a decade with only minor updates. While competitors evolved with new technology, better fuel efficiency, and modern interiors, the 300 stayed largely the same. Buyers quickly noticed that what once looked luxurious now feels outdated. Even newer models still use older tech interfaces and carry the same design DNA from the early 2000s. Then there's the brand image. Chrysler has struggled to maintain its identity in a market dominated by SUVs and trucks. With just a few models in its lineup, dealership presence and consumer confidence dropped sharply. Rumors of discontinuation didn't help either. When people think a car might be gone soon, its resale value dives. Fleet and rental sales also played a role in the downfall. A large portion of Chrysler 300s were sold to rental companies, which flooded the used market every few years. Oversupply pushed prices down further, even for well-kept private cars. Still, the 300 remains a comfortable cruiser. Its strong V6 and available Hemi V8 make it powerful, and its spacious interior delivers the kind of comfort you rarely find at its price point. But all those strengths can't stop the harsh truth. When a model stagnates for too long and brand confidence fades, depreciation becomes inevitable. For used car buyers, the Chrysler 300 is a budget-friendly luxury experience. For original owners, though, it's a perfect example of how quickly time and market trends can erase value. Number 3. Lincoln Continental. The Lincoln Continental was supposed to be the great American comeback story, a rebirth of a legendary name that once defined presidential luxury and effortless comfort. When it returned in 2017, it looked elegant, with clean lines, a quiet cabin, and refined powertrains. Lincoln even offered optional rear coach doors on some models to evoke the old-world charm of classic Continentals. But despite its luxury, Within 3 years, the Continental lost up to 85 to 90% of its value. The problem wasn't quality, it was timing and perception. The market for large sedans had already collapsed by the time the Continental hit showrooms. Buyers wanted SUVs, and Lincoln's own Navigator was stealing all the attention. Even loyal Lincoln customers didn't see the point of a sedan when the brand's SUVs offered more space, height, and modern features. Then came the brand identity crisis. Lincoln wanted the Continental to compete with Mercedes and BMW, but most buyers didn't see it as a true rival. While it delivered comfort, it lacked the sporty image and cutting-edge tech that German brands used to justify their price tags. As a result, resale values fell hard. Luxury buyers avoided it new, and used buyers saw little demand in the second-hand market. Discontinuation sealed its fate. Lincoln ended Continental production in 2020, leaving owners with a car that instantly became old news. Parts and service aren't an issue yet, but market confidence disappeared overnight. Even pristine examples that once sold for over $70,000 can now be found for under $15,000, sometimes less. It's a shame, because the Continental is genuinely comfortable and beautifully quiet. A true highway cruiser with a soft suspension and serene interior. But depreciation doesn't measure grace or nostalgia. It measures demand. And when a brand stops believing in its own model, buyers stop believing in its value. The Lincoln Continental's fall shows that even an iconic name can't survive in a market obsessed with crossovers and constant reinvention. Number 2, BMW i3. The BMW i3 was one of the most daring cars the company ever built. When it debuted, it looked like something straight out of the future. A compact electric car made from carbon fiber, powered by advanced batteries, and designed to usher in BMW's electric era. It was quirky, bold, and genuinely innovative. But in the used market, that futuristic charm faded fast. Within 3 years, the i3 loses up to 90% of its original value, making it one of the worst depreciating BMWs ever. The problem starts with its niche appeal. The i3 wasn't meant for everyone. It was small, unusually shaped, and carried a price tag that didn't match its practicality. Many buyers admired it but didn't actually want to own one. Once the initial wave of curiosity wore off, demand plummeted. As newer EVs entered the market with longer range and more traditional designs, the i3 quickly looked outdated and overpriced. Range anxiety also played a role. Early versions of the i3 offered barely 80 to 100 miles on a full charge, which felt acceptable a decade ago but is unacceptable today. Even the optional range extender version, which used a tiny gas engine to recharge the battery, didn't do much to calm buyers' fears. Once Tesla and Hyundai began offering 250-plus-mile EVs, the i3's market value nosedived. Another factor was its expensive materials and unusual engineering. The i3's carbon fiber frame made it lightweight and efficient, but repairing one after an accident was complicated and costly. Many body shops weren't equipped to handle the material, driving down insurance and resale confidence. Despite all this, the i3 remains an interesting and eco-friendly city car. Its instant torque, premium feel, and unique personality make it fun to drive. For used buyers, it's one of the cheapest ways to get into a BMW EV. But for original owners, depreciation has been painful, a reminder that innovation without long-term demand can be a financial disaster. Number 1. Maserati Quattroporte. Few cars carry as much style and emotion as the Maserati Quattroporte. It's Italy's take on a luxury performance sedan. Dramatic, fast, and infused with soul. The sound of its Ferrari-derived engine alone can make anyone fall in love. Yet, in the harsh world of resale, the Quattroporte tells a very different story. Within just 3 years, it can lose up to 90% of its original value, turning one of the most expensive luxury sedans into one of the market's biggest depreciation disasters. The reasons are painfully familiar for anyone who knows the brand. Maserati's reputation for reliability has never been strong. Owners often face unpredictable electrical issues, transmission quirks, and high maintenance costs. The parts are expensive, and the network of Maserati service centers is limited, meaning repairs often come with long waits and heavy bills. Buyers in the used market know this, and that fear alone drives resale prices down dramatically. Another issue is identity. The Quattroporte sits in an awkward space between performance and luxury. It tries to compete with the Mercedes S-Class and Porsche Panamera, but it doesn't match their technology or refinement. At the same time, it doesn't offer the bulletproof dependability of brands like Lexus. As a result, it appeals to a small niche of enthusiasts rather than mainstream luxury buyers. And niche appeal rarely equals strong resale. Even the new car experience hurt its value. Maserati priced the Quattroporte like an exotic, but the interior quality and tech often fell short of its six-figure tag. Once newer, more advanced rivals entered the scene, depreciation accelerated. That said, few cars deliver the same emotional punch. A used Quattroporte offers a sound and presence that rivals double its price can't match. It's still an event to drive, even if it's a risky one. But for original owners, it's a sobering reminder that passion doesn't protect you from depreciation. The Quattroporte is the perfect example of beauty meeting harsh reality. A car that wins hearts, but loses value faster than almost anything else on the road. Depreciation is a cruel truth of car ownership. And these 14 examples prove it's not just cheap cars that lose value fast. Even the world's most luxurious, high-performance and tech-packed models can see their worth evaporate in just a few years. The reasons vary: unreliable parts, overcomplicated technology, brand perception, or simply a shift in what buyers want. But the outcome is the same: massive value loss. For smart buyers, though, there's a hidden opportunity. Many of these cars now sell for pennies on the dollar, offering luxury and performance that new car money could never buy. The key is knowing which models are bargains and which ones are money pits. Because in the end, value isn't just about price tags or badges. It's about how well a car stands the test of time, in reliability, relevance, and reputation. And that's a lesson every car lover eventually learns.